Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Maggie and Ferocious Mondays. Today, we will be reviewing our first segment of Season 2, Episode 2 of Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. Season 2, Episode 2A, Desert Treasure. In this episode, our three friends head off into the desert to find a treasure. While there, they come across a snake and make friends with a camel named Kali, who takes them to a magnificent lemonade spring. Now, this episode, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. And I have to let you know, this batch of episodes is the most memorable to me when growing up. Because I remember seeing these episodes a lot on this particular batch of episodes a lot growing up. And whenever they came on, I just never got tired of it because not only they were so good, memorable, but I just I just love them. I just love them. So, and the whole desert design is just so beautiful. I love any cartoon that takes place in a desert. Well, I mean, if you couldn't tell by why The Key to the Nile is one of my favorite Backyardigans episodes, not just because of Tasha, but because of the desert in ancient Egypt. We have that vibe here. They don't explicitly say Egypt, but we do see pyramids and stuff, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love that. I love pyramids in any cartoon, and also the beautiful desert music is just so beautiful as well. It's so beautiful as well, and the moments with Beast are pretty enjoyable too in this episode. Him complaining and upset that he doesn't have any of those special hats that Maggie, Hamilton, the snake that we see later on, and Kali have too. Because as Hamilton keeps on telling him, his head is too big, and him saying, "I never get anything," which, okay, that's Beast. I know you're upset, but that's not true. Try and choose your words better next time. And I also like it when Beast drinks all the water and Maggie suggests they have to find an oasis. And um and at first Hamilton doesn't know what that is, and then Beast says, "Haven't you heard of an oasis?" And the way he said it, he becomes cross-eyed for 1 second. And Hamilton says, "It's oasis, Beast." I can't help it. It's just too funny. It's just too funny. And when I was younger, the snake that they met in the desert was really unsettling to me, especially him saying that he has like a French accent, and he's saying, "I can't remember the last time I had a good mouse." When Beast said that, "I'm not afraid of snakes, only mice," which is a callback to in the Big Scare, where originally where we first met Rudy, or Pippi, where he was called back then. It's just he was really creepy to me as a kid. I was like, I got a very bad vibe from him because he just gave off creeper, in my opinion. But now that I'm older, his interaction with the gang was pretty funny, especially when Hamilton's trying to when Hamilton really wants to get away from him. He's like, "We're late," and then Snake's like, "For what?" And then he's like, "I'll think of something. Now move." When he's kicking Beast in his back, telling him to go. It was just too funny. And then the gang's starting to get really, really, really hot. And then when Maggie says, there's a camel coming towards us," and literally the next scene we literally see the camel up close in Maggie's binoculars. That scene just made me laugh so much as a kid. It jump scared me, but it made me laugh. And then we met Klee, who is he's just one of those characters who's like, he seems wise beyond his years, but on the outside, looking in, he really is a nice person. And we'll figure out that later on. Like, he knows the ins and outs of the desert, like telling them to lay flat on their backs when a sandstorm comes. And sadly, at first, the Beast spots come off, and then Klee assures them that there's no getting them back. They're gone, buried, swept away in the sandstorm. But then luckily Hamilton comes through and says, "I always carry an extra set." Which, let's be honest, if the Beast wasn't without his spots, he would be less of a pepperoni pizza. I'm sorry. The Beast just looks like a pepperoni pizza to me. Now he just looks like a plain cheese pizza without his spots. Maybe I'm just saying this because I'm hungry. but anyway, the gang keeps on getting more thirsty and thirsty, even when Hamilton asks them, "Does anyone want to eat lunch?" But they even say something that even now that it's summertime is really relatable. I'm much too thirsty to eat, which is really relatable. For the past few days since the summer now, it's been really, really hot, and then there's just some moments where I don't even want to eat anything. I just want to drink something nice and cool. I can't think about food until I'm fully hydrated. Then I'll have my right source of mind to be thinking about what I want to eat. So that right there is just relatable. And I also like the moments where at the beginning where Maggie's making sure that they have everything that they need, and um and Hamilton was like, I got everything, General, something like that. And also, I think this is the first episode whenever they're gonna go somewhere, Maggie says, "Move out," which I like that. I like that. And then finally, they make it. At first, they don't know what the strange liquid is, but then Khalid says, "Why don't you taste it?" And then Maggie says something which I really like. Is it safe? And even as a young kid, even how young she is, I'm so happy she asked that. You're looking at a weird substance. You don't know what it is. So you have to assure somebody, are you sure this is safe? Are you sure this is not anything that can get me sick? Which I like that Maggie said that. That's something that if kids listen to, they'll be able to take some wisdom from Maggie. But then the minute she tasted it, she's like, it's a lemonade spring. Which, if that's not a summertime dream, I don't know what is. A lemonade spring with straws coming out, with lemon slices holding the straws above the water, lemon trees. Just, if I dare say it, this is a better version of this is a way better version of the lemonade stand. Just not saying that episode is terrible, but still a lemonade spring. It's just amazing. That's just a summertime dream right there. It really is. And they're finally getting hydrated, and it's just seeing that just makes me crave lemonade so bad. But then Beast and Hamilton is like, they're like, what about the treasure? What about the gems, diamonds, and rubies? And then Khalid says something I really like. What greater treasure can there be than a lemonade spring? Which has to be some of the most wisest things from a wiser camel in any cartoon, must I say. So, yes, and they're finally able to fill up their canteens, and even Khalid gives Beast something to keep cool on their way home, a silk umbrella, which he really appreciates. He really does. And that's when Maggie says, we found two treasures today, a lemonade spring and a very dear friend, which I love that so much. Sometimes the best treasures in life are the people that you treasure and the people that you appreciate day in and day out. And they're able to make it back home with cool shade and ice cold lemonade, which I couldn't think of a better ending than that. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode. This episode was really good. It's really good. It had some funny moments. It had a bit of dramatic moments here and there. I really enjoyed Khalid. And everything about this episode was just so good to me, and I loved it. And I'm happy I got to see it a lot as a kid. So I'm going to give this episode a 10. We're starting off our second batch of segments in our second season off very strong. And we're going to keep on the high ratings going, because next episode is going to be a very unique episode. Because would you believe me when I tell you this next episode has little to no dialogue. Like literally little to no dialogue. but I'll explain more in our next episode. So tune in with me next time as we'll be reviewing our next segment in this batch of episodes, Season 2, Episode 2B, Morning in Nowhere Land. See you all next time. Great googly moogly.